Welcome, honorable viewers. I stand before you today a lawyer of the courts, charged with defending games and their characters from unjust judgment passed down by the players. Although opinions are subjective, I always believe in my clients and try to prove that at their very core, they're good. Now let's not waste another second. The prosecution is after Game Wario today, so I need to get my head in the game. Game Wario is a party title for the Wii U developed by Nintendo Software Planning and Development alongside Intelligent Systems, a company best known today for their work on the Fire Emblem franchise. It's something of a spiritual successor to the WarioWare series and boasts a similar look and feel, but it wasn't always like that. Game & Wario was initially designed with a broader theme in mind. It was planned to be a pre-installed launch title for the Wii U, casting a wide net to pull in an ocean of prospective players a la Wii Sports. But in order for this kind of project to take shape and appeal to a demographic with such scope, the team had to keep the crazy in check and apply their mental brakes. It seems counterintuitive for a team with a history of producing charming, quirky titles to go down a route that effectively stifles their unique brand of creativity, but the tides turned as development pressed on. The team came up with enough minigames to warrant a standalone release, and while brainstorming how to bring all those distinctive games under a unified world, they naturally found their way back to Wario. The end result was a package worthy of their trademark flair, bursting from the seams with an upbeat presentation and catering to the folks familiar with their past works. To help promote Game & Wario leading up to launch, Nintendo put out a parody crowdfunding page called Crowdfarter, complete with a pitch trailer and donation goals. The rates were reasonable too, requesting a meager 100 quadrillion coins to gain access to a new trailer. People could get involved not by forfeiting their coins, but by sharing the game on social media. Whether or not you appreciate flatulence, the campaign was a creative way to market the game and encourage fans to get involved with the property, while staying true to its whimsical tone. Everyone really strived to go above and beyond with Game & Wario. They even pulled in other developers from within the company to lend their support on 4 of the 16 minigames. The team put emphasis on games over mini during development though. They wanted to make each experience stand on its own, as though all of them could be packaged and sold separately. This led to each one having its own unique title screen. The WarioWare motif lent itself well to variety in the looks of the games too. They wanted to have every title feel like it was developed by the character that represents it, and that diversity certainly shines through in the final product. In my time with Game & Wario, I've come to appreciate this quality, although I can't say every minigame has enough content for an independent eShop debut. Dr. Krygor's design in particular, while still a fun diversion, doesn't pack quite enough meat on its bones. Granted, I haven't had the chance to try out the multiplayer mode, but the solo experience has only 2 challenges with short session lengths. That's a tough sell. There's certainly potential for it to be built up into a stronger offering, but it doesn't have enough content for a retail release as it is today. Cat and Anna's Patchwork, on the other hand, feels like it'd be great to take on the go. As a puzzle game, its design lends itself well to quick bursts of gameplay. After you complete its initial 90 stages, a challenge mode is unlocked where you need to revisit and clear each level in 30, 60, or 90 seconds depending on their difficulty. How it works isn't too complex on the surface. You're tasked with lining up patches of fabric on patterned paper. The challenge lies in their placement though. They can overlap different stitches, but they need to fit perfectly into a specific outline to draw out a shape once everything's in place. Pirate is another notable experience. It's a matching game wherein Captain Wario orders his fleet to fire arrows at your ship from the front, left, right, and above. You'll need to hone in on the good captain's position to listen in on his instructions, and then mirror them out by aiming your gamepad in the appropriate directions. It demands a mix of patience and quick reflexes that'll keep you on your toes, and once all the arrows have been exhausted, the round culminates in a dance challenge. You can technically just bob up and down in your chair to simulate the motions, but that hardly takes away from the chipper atmosphere. I'm sure most players and the Super Smash Bros. Fans among us would agree that Gamer is a standout in the collection though. It harkens back to the original series with a handful of microgames, but presents them with a new twist. While you're tackling a traditional bombardment of challenges on the gamepad, the television screen shows 9 volts simulating the experience after dark. The challenge therein lies with his mother, 5 volt, who barges in intermittently to make sure 9 volt is sleeping. It's up to you to balance between beating microgames and feigning sleep to keep the game alive. In addition to the main minigame lineup, there's also an assortment of bonus content to unlock by way of the Cluck-a-Pop capsule machine. These run the gamut from simple hints and character cards, to little bonuses like a crazy bug band and whatever this is. The credits can be found here too, presented in the guise of a schnozopedia. And I've gotta say, I've never seen credits with this much character before. Every developer is represented by a doodle of a nose and a list of traits that can be filtered. Beyond just their job descriptions, you can see who on the team is also a parent, which members are interested in science, or how many developers are multilingual. It's a small addition, but it makes the credits section feel all the more personal. Overall, it's the charm that wins me over with Game & Wario. Everything's just so cheerful and crazy. There's no question that there's a specific audience for it, but if you fit into that niche, You'll find enough to love here.
Are you finished sharing your notes, defense?
Oh, right, I'm sorry.
The prosecution is ready.
The defense is ready too.
Then let's start the clock. They've heard enough of your rambling.
Rambling? I was providing a thorough overview so the audience can follow the proceedings and pass down an informed verdict.
Oh, come now. You're far too impressionable for such a task. We need only consult the reviews if we wish to seek the truth. Now take a look at this.
Too uneven and frustrating to wholly recommend.
Do you deny it?
Well, we're talking about Wario here. The man's uneven by design.
This is clearly referring to the software itself, not Wario. Wait. Wario. Wario. Wa-e.
Relax, I don't pronounce his name right either.
But that's expected of a mere human. We machines hold ourselves to a higher standard. Wahio. Wario. Damn it.
Right. Well, to respond further, I'd say frustration can simply stem from haste. Perhaps a rushed reviewer was looking to gather their impressions fast to meet a deadline.
Objection. That's conjecture.
Okay, withdrawn. But Game & Wario is pretty good for presenting tutorials and explanations for how to play minigames. And even if they don't do the trick, you'll get a handle on them if you take a little time to familiarize yourself with the controls and practice.
What about the art direction? Will you admit without a struggle that it's objectively cheap?
I'll do no such thing because it's not cheap at all.
Exhibit A.
Well, of course that looks bad out of context. It's supposed to look like a screen designed by children because it was doodled by kindergarten students in the world's fiction.
Then what about Exhibit B?
I call it misguided and willfully ignorant of the franchise's legacy. Although it could be argued that Game & Wario doesn't fall into the WarioWare series, its style matches what the team has developed in the past, and presents an impressive variety of visuals that can only be considered a treat for the eyes.
Oh, come now.
Just look at Kung Fu. Can you really claim this care and artistry is cheap? And while you take a moment to swallow your words, how about you wash it down with a gulp of your own medicine?
What am I looking at?
A contradiction plucked from your pool of perfect reviews. I'm not alone. Eurogamer agrees that the art direction is strong.
Then we needn't dwell on a standstill. Defense.
Are you seriously not conceding this one?
Now, what have you to say for this alleged party game's limited lineup of multiplayer modes?
Oh, haven't had the pleasure.
And yet here you are claiming this is a good game with unfinished research.
Well, you don't have to experience every nook and cranny to see a game's merits. If the single player's good, mediocre multiplayer won't change that.
Are you admitting the multiplayer is bad?
No, I just mean whatever it's like holds no bearing on this case. If a game's good, a bad aspect or two doesn't sully the whole thing. But we're getting sidetracked. Let's focus on the facts here.
You want to talk facts? Why don't we examine how a lonely loser like you can only access 12 minigames in this lackluster collection? What does that say?
Did you just call me a loser?
It says the game's light on content.
Well, we can't forget that Game & Wario was the development team's first project on new hardware, so when it comes to scope, expectations need to be tempered. It even launched at a lower price relative to regular Wii U games to compensate.
Are you trying to justify a shoddy product?
No, I just mean it's a smaller game with a smaller price to match.
Size doesn't matter if players are still being cheated by a deceptively light package.
Well, let's not sell it short here. You get a game, you get a Wario. It delivers on the title's promises.
Time's up, defense. Don't rattle on too long now.
Yeah, I know the drill. Honorable viewers, Game & Wario isn't perfect.
Clearly.
Don't interrupt my closing statement. Your chance is coming. Game & Wario isn't perfect, but it has heart. As stated by the great Yoshio Sakamoto, the team was able to cut loose and do what it wanted. A lot of passion was poured into this game, and every ounce of it was put to work for your entertainment. Not every minigame will have you clamoring for another round, but as a whole there's enough variety to keep you engaged for a while. Even if it feels a little too zany for your taste, or doesn't feel like it packs the same punch as the microgame compilations of yesteryear, Game & Wario is still good at its core. And I hope you'll see fit to judge it as such.
Your pandering is pathetic.
Just get on with your spiel.
But what's there to say? The reviews speak for themselves, ladies and gentlemen. The defense might have tried to sway you with his shameless biases, but don't lose sight of the facts. GameSpot and IGN, the juggernauts of the industry, have chimed in with 5s, and by modern standards, that's a mediocre rating. A bad game by any measure. The proof is in the patterns, so don't be blinded by brand loyalty or blissful ignorance. Although I know better, I'd like to believe you'll make the right call.
Okay. Well, now it's up to you, honorable viewers. Is Game & Wario guilty of being a bad game?
Yes.
Vote using the poll card above and let's lay this case to rest. Feel free to take your time though. If you need more information to reach a verdict, the court record is in the description below and has you covered with plenty of reviews you can shift through at your leisure. Just remember to judge justly. A game's reputation is on the line after all.